Live. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Let's Get to the Facts podcast. I'm your host, Doss, with my man, Coach Shy, and we got a guest with us today.
Yes, sir.
This is my man, one of my former players, one of our former players, Avery Dunn from Michigan State, now in the transfer portal to Toledo University. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, man? It's a pleasure being on here. I appreciate y'all. And I love you boys, and I'm excited to do this little podcast.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you
Yes,
too,
sir.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been a long time since we had our hands on you. So, and I got a chance to check you out at Michigan State. You know, I would always message you, check in on you, and see how you doing and stuff.
Yeah.
So, what was your experience like at Michigan State?
Honestly, to be honest with you, for me at least, is a roller coaster. I got there, I originally committed to Coach D'Antonio. If you guys, Mark D'Antonio,
Right.
and the second I committed there, he retired. So and I wasn't recruited by the Coach Mel Tucker staff. So immediately I had to earn my ranks and pretty much just prove to the coaching staff why I'm good enough to be on this team and stuff. And then once I was able to get on a good, things started clicking after my probably junior season. I had an injury, I had a shoulder surgery, and then I still had a pretty solid season after that. And then I feel like year after year at Michigan State is something new happening for real. And I was never. It was hard for me to really just truly get developed because especially in terms of football wise, I had a new position coach every year. So that was the tough part about it. But then also I feel like I was going through a different type of battle in the back of my head because you guys know I've always been an athlete. And at Michigan State, they switched over to recruiting true athlete DNs to more true DNs where it's the prototype 260, 270, 6'4", 5 tall, big DNs, and I just feel like I was too much of an athlete to be in that scheme. But then so that's why I feel like I was bound to Coach Tucker's staff. And then I don't know if you guys know what happened to Coach Tucker. And that whole deal happened, and that season was just insane. After our second game of the season, he got fired as the head coach, and we just was a lot of guys on the team was just running around with chickens with their head cut off. It was pretty crazy, and that was just a whole difficult season. And then the following year,
I find it good that you mentioned that because a lot of in college football, especially with the players moving around a lot and more with the transfer portal, it's a lack of. They don't talk about how it feels as a player who commits to a certain coach. You you committed, you loyal, you wanted to be at Michigan State, and then for that coach to recruit you, then to retire, and then you're okay, I'm about to prove myself with this new coach. And you proved yourself, and then now he's gone. What I'm saying? I understand. I don't know if you could speak more about what you went through mentally dealing with all that, because a lot of people don't understand how they can mess up someone mentally. For you to be a loyal person and see all this stuff going on in front of you.
Right. One thing, if you're watching this and you aspire to be a college football player, I'd say the biggest thing I learned in that is sad part about college football is politics in it. And if one coaching staff recruits you and then that coaching staff gets fired, you seriously need to take a step back and look at your future basically. Because that's one thing I wish I took more seriously. Because when Coach D'Antonio when he retired, I'm thinking okay, I'm gonna just, you feel me, just always been a grinder, always been a hard worker. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna go in there and prove myself. But at the end of the day, regardless of what I did and what I didn't do, I wasn't the guy they recruited for. So I came in a couple steps behind more than I wanted to, but I still I still say I did good for myself too. Even after my junior season, I finished with 7.5 TFLs and 3 sacks. So I feel like with that staff, I still made it good enough. Just had a good enough season, but it's big time politics in college football. So just really just take a step back and like know what like position you're getting put into and just the situation you're getting put into.
So you playing at Michigan State, you actually had to play against a lot of big defense man, offensive linemen. Who was the hardest test you had to go against?
Shoot, the hardest one. I'll probably say there was a Washington tackle. His name was Troy. He is Polynesian. I can't. He's probably gonna be like a guard in the NFL. His name's like Troy. I'm not gonna try and pronounce his last name, but he was really good. He came out 2023, and also who else? Me personally, I thought Minnesota has a tackle coming out this year. I thought he was pretty good. I also went against Paris Johnson and DeJuan Jones Jr. And they were really good. But me personally, like my solid game, I feel like I was able to do better against those guys versus like the first two I mentioned.
Okay, all right.
Can you real quick? I know you went through the transfer portal and the experiences of it. Like can you like? Because I know like there's a lot of kids that me and Coach Dawson have coached. Some that are still playing. And are thinking, or who are some of them actually entered the transfer portal or whatever. But what can you like? Can you give your transfer portal experience to like any kid that's possibly like in high school that's thinking to go like maybe to like a like a Saginaw Valley and then enter the portal and going somewhere else, like basically just your experience. How was it for you?
Yeah. For me personally, I feel like a big thing of just in the sports world, you gotta always have someone like vouching for you. I mean, at the time, immediately, I would first say like go in there with a plan. Don't go in there just like for no reason, because you like that you gotta go in there with the plan and go in there knowing like you got people behind you who can support you and saying like this. You're from the coaches and who have like true connections with these coaches, because at the end of the day, it's a business and it's all about what he says, she says. So if you don't have any coaches or like anybody really truly vouching for you, you're gonna have a rough time unless like your film, your tape is really, really, really like that. But even then, like the biggest thing I feel like I'll take away from my last time being a transfer portal is like every school and coach, they all literally said the same thing. They said like they talked to this coach and they said these are my great things about me. So every single like school and coach that recruited me on the portal, they all talked to one of the coaches who either like coached me at Michigan State and like moved out to another team, or like talked to like a high school coach or something. So it's like it's all about like the people and I mean like what coaches are going to vouch for you too, from my own like personal experience.
So that's interesting because I was kind of curious on how the transfer portal actually worked also, because to hear you say that it was coaches that were vouching for you, I was always curious because that sounds like recruiting once again, but it's like you're doing your own recruiting for yourself. Or is it that you put your name into a system and then like coaches reach out to you, like you put your what was it, huddle? So is it like you put a huddle highlight out there and then, or your highlights, and then the coaches come tagging, like, what I'm saying, reaching out to you from that?
Yeah. So it's basically like a transfer portal system. And like most schools that have guys like GAs and stuff continue always looking in like the portal and seeing who entered in. And like, I'm sure like they all have like some type of big network going on where they get notifications of who entered the portal and what position. But one thing I realized, like when I first entered it, I feel like I wasn't getting a lot of like coaches hitting me up because because you have like things such as like 247 Sports and like On3 that a lot of these coaches and people use too.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting posted on any of those, so I feel like a lot of coaches like a lot of schools didn't see me, and then I mean. For a lot of schools, it's a little too late too, because even like when I was on my way getting committed to Toledo, they had other schools some other schools came like, yo, we didn't even know we were using the portal, and like we wanted to send you an offer, but at that time it's too late. I was already made my decision and stuff. But yeah, that's how it was for me at least.
Hey, you made a good pick though, because the defensive line that I saw coming in to Toledo was actually, I don't want to say star-studded, but it was a high caliber D line coming in. Because I keep saying, and I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot remember this man's name, and I should have did my research on it. But God, is it Gerald McCoy's son? Is he there?
Gerald McCoy. I'm not sure who that is.
Gerald McCoy used to play for, what was it, Texas or Texas A&M? He was a D lineman. I believe he played with
Tampa Bay, wasn't it?
On Tampa Bay for a hot second.
Yeah, I believe his son committed to Toledo also.
Okay, so yeah, I'm still a new guy on campus a little bit, so I'm still trying to get familiar with everybody's names. But Marcellus. Yeah, he's there. Yep. Pretty sure he's like a receiver.
I thought they said he was a defensive lineman.
No, he's a receiver. He's a chill dude. He's money though. He go by a different Range Rover and stuff.
He got a different last name. That's why it's Marcellus Crutchfield.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Yeah, that's why we couldn't find him.
Okay. Yeah. So Avery, with this the transfer portal, obviously people be talking about the money.
Mm-hmm.
It is a school like Toledo. Are they able to compete financially with all of these other schools, or like is it not a big thing there? Like how are they doing stuff?
So competing against like the Power Four, most Power Four programs, no, they don't have. Obviously, Michigan State have a ton more money than Toledo, but I'll say in the MAC, I feel like Toledo they found ways to have more money than most of the other MAC schools. So I feel like that's why you see like Toledo and Miami of Ohio, out of all the MAC schools, they probably have the most like Power Four like recruited guys coming into the MAC because like they have the most money. But yeah, so it's obviously it's not as much as what I was used to at Michigan State, but it's still like a pretty like solid amount to give you a good like kickstart to like if you want to be done with football and go into like your career, you won't be leaving with nothing. You have something to lay back on and hopefully give you like the right boost for whatever you choose to do after football.
I feel cheated. I feel cheated so bad. I
bet.
Man. Like
I can imagine.
Oh my God, that feels so cheated, man.
Man,
because you feel cheated, Coach. At least right into my question, Avery. So with the NIL, like I know at one point in time they're talking about having it for high school players. How would you have feel cheated? How would you think that would work out with these days if high school kids had NILs?
Man, yeah, honestly, I don't know how it would have been for me, to be honest with you, but of course I would have wanted to be paid in high school. So you ask me, honestly, I'm happy for the kids in high school, but that's just crazy. Like,
at one point, Trey McNutt had an NIL. I seen he had a commercial.
Wow.
It was a local car wash and shaker. He had an NIL deal. I don't know if it was a deal, but there was a commercial and everything. It was him and another player, but they was pushing this car wash that opened up on Chagrin. And I'm like, I wonder if he's getting paid for this, man. Like,
yeah, you know he getting paid.
Yeah, I know he's getting paid. I mean, he was walking around school with a dope boy chain on. So
that man Trey up so crazy right now. I'm happy for him.
He's still going to Oregon, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He left. He was early enrollee.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, he doing spring ball right now and stuff. I'm still tapped in with Trey.
How would you like just think about it, your era, like if they had NILs, like that would have been dope, right?
Man, that would have been amazing, to be honest with you. Like, to be honest, I don't know if I would have been that shaker if we had NIL.
No.
Like, but at the same time, I can't even imagine. But I hope the high school kids get NIL. That is like a young age for kids to start getting paid, but hopefully they do the right things with the money. And
exactly.
Like you ask me, I say first thing you should do is invest at least like 30-40% of your money into like I don't know, whatever, anything.
Exactly.
But yeah,
that's the truth.
Okay.
It's
All
the
right.
fun, real quick, Coach. I gotta say this about Abe, man. And we coached Abe for a minute, and one thing I can remember about Abe, even though we didn't have some good seasons with Abe, man, Abe is gonna get you. He's gonna give you a highlight or two a game, and he just kept going. Like it was games when we know we ain't doing good. You know what I'm saying? But like, was you there for Nicholson's first year?
yeah, I was.
Yeah, that first year. Abe was like, listen, just me being the coach on the sideline was the reason just to come to watch Abe, because I know he's gonna get a tip ball, he's gonna get a sack, he was gonna do something. Because I'm looking at everybody else like, ain't nothing else gonna happen, but Abe gonna give you something. And Abe has some of the best spirits, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I don't know how you made it through that last, your senior year. But he did it, and he kept his head up, man. That's one thing I can honestly say. Abe was a positive kid that whole time, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember my favorite moment is this. Avery was just like his brother. Avery was hell bent on being a wide receiver.
Hey, who was it though? That's everybody's dream.
I said, Avery. And Coach TA came over and said, Dawson, I want to use Avery as defensive end. I said, TA, that is a great idea. Now we got to get Avery to do it. And I said, Avery, go with Coach TA. He was like, why? I said, because you about to play defensive end. He was like, man, I don't want to play defensive end. I'm a wide receiver. And I remember because I said, Avery, I said, I'm going to tell you this. I said, put your hand on the ground and you come around that edge. I said, you're going to write your ticket. I said, you're going to write your ticket and you're going to go. I said, you might even find yourself playing on Sundays in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And he was still reluctant to do it. And then we put him out there. It was one game. It was like in the second half. He was like, can I use him? I said, yep, use him. He went out there, first play, made a sack. I said, that's it right there. The ticket has been written. Right there.
I remember that, man. Shout out to TA for real.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It took me a couple of years for me to really sit down and be like, damn, I really am a DN right now. People don't be believing when I tell them I was a receiver in high school for real. Like,
they don't believe you.
No,
you didn't pull up the huddle on them.
No, I did. I showed him, like, especially a couple of my guys, like one of my best friends, Simi. We were like back in the dorms, we were like all pull up our huddles, and I remember we was on the dorm room. Y'all probably know my Tory Foster. He was in there with us, and we'd be in the dorm room all watching our highlight film, high school stuff. I'll be showing him my receiver highlights. I'll be talking stuff to my Tory, like, bro, I'm trying to tell you, I would have been a better receiver than you. Like, just talking crazy.
Oh man! All right, so we got Avery with us, but we need to get into these other topics. And the topic we got to jump on top of is the Haslam speak on DW4, Coach. Now you know I'm feeling vindicated on this one because I done told y'all for the longest time I wanted Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson did not pan out to be who we wanted him to be.
Mm-hmm.
People kept on saying, that's still our quarterback, Coach. That's our guy. No, man, listen, it's about production in the NFL. As you just heard Avery say, it's a business.
It's a business.
It's a business of numbers. You need to produce. You need to bring something. Deshaun Watson he got guaranteed money and he guaranteed us no wins. Yeah. And that's just honestly how we got to look at it. He guaranteed us nothing. He didn't guarantee us no playoffs. He didn't guarantee us no Super Bowl. He got $230 million. All he did was guaranteed us a headache.
Yeah, that boy done robbed us.
And Haslam spoke out and said it was a big mistake. Now, with that being said, with Deshaun Watson still on our roster, what have I been telling you? That man is not going to suit up this season in the Cleveland Browns uniform.
Coach, I agree with you. I stated that especially after the second tier to his Achilles.
Yeah,
he's not about to suit up for the Browns this year. They're gonna work out something with that contract, kick the money down the line. They probably paying him until he probably like 50 years old. but he's done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean, like, listen, he got paid. He showed up every day and robbed us. He's still robbing us.
Yep.
So, listen, all I can say is this, Coach. He never promised us a ring.
What did he promise us?
What did he promise us? Shit.
Oh God,
nothing, Coach.
That dude said, "I'm gonna get this money. That's what I can promise you. I'm gonna take that check. 230 million guaranteed. It didn't guarantee us nothing.
Yeah, y'all remember seeing that video when he like made that TikTok with his wife and he's supposed to be in the boot or something? There's like a big deal about that.
Yeah.
Coach was talking about that. You talked about that about a month ago. He was like, man, this dude was supposed to be hurting up here on TikTok videos. And I was like, that's how I knew.
Quote unquote, hey, that's what he retorted doing that TikTok video. That's what
that's crazy, man. That's terrible. Yeah, we need to get him up out of here. My question is like, how do y'all think the Browns are gonna go about that? You think they're gonna try to find ways to get him out of his contract, or you think we're just stuck paying him for?
I mean, however it goes, they're still gonna be stuck paying him. So they can release him and they can send them, they can do whatever they want. They probably just gonna be like, we're gonna just take it on the chin for this one. But they know they gave up all of them draft picks to get that man. And they realize now that it was a terrible business move on Andrew Berry's part. And I mean, I'm sure the Haslams are looking at him a little suspect right now too. After that,
I like what the Haslam said, dog, because I watched the interview. I listened to it. I watched it, then I listened to it when I was at work.
Okay.
I like this was like one of their first interviews that I actually liked them as an ownership group, because Jimmy Haslam came out and said, if you're looking for somebody to blame me and my wife. I'd have left my wife out and I'd have took the blame, but that's just me. But he said, blame me. He said we basically, he was like, make a long story short, we was thirsty for a quarterback. We sold the farm on this quarterback, and it was a big swing and a miss. Yeah. So I like the accountability. He ain't blame AB. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? He ain't blame Stefanski. He know at the top, the buck stops at the top, and he the owner. So he took it on the chin. So for that right there, he won some cool points on my end. You know what I'm saying? Just taking it that way.
Okay. Hey, I sitting back, man. Listen, I wanted Deshaun Watson just like I wanted Baker Mayfield. I still think they regret. I think they definitely regret letting Baker Mayfield go because of what he's turned out to be in Tampa.
He's mature.
Say that again.
I said he's mature. He's
big time.
Now all of a sudden, I seen him. I think it was on Twitter. He was interviewing somebody. He's speaking more about his newfound relationship with God. He's more, he's mature. I guess maybe that has something to do with his family stealing some money from him and having to grow up. But he has matured. I mean, when he was here, he was immature. But at the same time, we kind of gave him the keys to the city.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then taking us to the playoffs and stuff, he really felt like he owned the city at that point in time. So
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, man. That's that. I definitely wanted to get that one out, because when I heard the Haslams come out and say that, I said, oh, okay. Now we got some accountability taking place. And I really like what I was hearing about that. But I mean, now I'm just kind of curious to see what they're gonna do. And so now let's talk about it. Is he worth the second pick, Shedeur Sanders?
If you asking me right now, if the draft was today, I'm taking Shedeur. If it was today, if the draft was today, I'm taking Shedeur.
That's only if Cam Ward is taking one.
Yeah, if Cam Ward goes number one in Tennessee, I'm taking Shedeur.
Okay.
I'm not you already know how I feel about Abdul Carter. I'm not a fan of his. I think he disappeared in the big games and the big moments. He had a couple of splashes here and there, but I never really seen nothing from the kid. Travis Hunter, love him. If we didn't need a quarterback, I would definitely say, hey, go get Travis Hunter.
Right.
But we have to get a quarterback. We have to try to get this right. And I'm with Mary. It's crazy because I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards what Mary Kay is saying, which is draft two quarterbacks. I don't want to, but it's like, damn, at this point, I just wanted to find a quarterback.
Right.
So Shedeur's my dude right now. That number 2.
So Avery, would you play a defensive end? How do you rate Abdul Carter?
I think he just like off of shoot. I think he's a great player, to be honest with you. I didn't keep too much in touch with him, but just off of pure athleticism, I know like even the last game he played, he had a pretty bad shoulder injury, but he's still able to get after the quarterback. Like I think he's a pretty solid player, and me personally, I wouldn't take him. I agree with Coach Reed. I think we need to look to the future and look for the main key to building a great team as a quarterback. And but at the same time, like I don't like is a young quarterback, is that what the Browns need right now, or like do you think we need a well-seasoned like Kirk Cousins maybe, or yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think right now I'm a Cam Ward fan. I want Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward is a week 1 starter. I think Shedeur Sanders can do it. However, I think there needs to be a little bit more maturity on his end as well, because I don't want to call him a nepo baby, because I wouldn't say that. He's, you know what I'm saying, but I do know his history. He's battled and fought through everything. He's a winner on every level. But is he a week 1 starter? I'm not 100% sure. And the Kirk Cousins thing, I think it would be cool, but Kirk Cousins is looking to come somewhere and start, which could cause some type of conflict, which we don't really want to happen in Cleveland, because we have already had enough drama this offseason. So I think I like Shedeur. I like him being able to survive in Cleveland better than Travis Hunter. Coach knows I've been talking about Travis Hunter I don't think Travis is built for Cleveland. I don't think his mentality is built for Cleveland. And I don't think he can handle his girl being here in Cleveland. So I don't think Travis Hunter is built for Cleveland, but I think Shedeur can handle Cleveland. So.
Yeah. What makes you think Shedeur can handle Cleveland?
Because his dad is going to make sure he got the right people around him to keep him protected, to keep him safe and stuff. And I'm not saying he wouldn't do that with Travis also, but it's a little something different when it's your own kid. So he's gonna make sure he got everything set up and in place around him to make sure he's protected and stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm gonna go back on the Kirk Cousins thing right now too. To me, if he was at the right cost, it's just right now with the Browns' cap and how they is and what he's making, it ain't looking good. We will have to restructure some contracts, get rid of some people. It'd have been different if he was like cut and the Falcons picked up majority of that check. Right. The way the Falcons want the team to whatever team they trade to pick up some of that money or whatever. So that's one of the things. But I wasn't opposed to Kirk Cousins as a bridge quarterback. Nothing like, we have him for the next 3-4 years. I'm thinking about, hey, just get us through this year, get whoever, if it was Shedeur or if it was Cam, or even if they went to a Jackson Dart or my dude Will Howard, one of those, I can see that. But right now,
keeps throwing up this Will Howard character.
Hey, I'm gonna throw up Will Howard, and you gonna throw up Kyle McCord.
Hey, but no, look, I'm gonna tell you a quarterback that nobody really talked about that could be a possible option. And I'm not saying that this is my pick. I'm just saying he's a possible option. Jalen Milrose.
I've been hearing that, and I haven't seen it in some mock draft.
I'm not saying now I would take Kirk Cousins to bridge that gap. I would take that, because now that gives him time to sit back and learn from a veteran.
So so my question is this: so if you Jalen Milrose, so then that second pick, what you doing with it then? Because you ain't gonna get you're not gonna use it on Jalen Milrose.
I mean, truth be told, if it's the case, then we got to go with Travis Hunter, even though I don't think that he would be the pick here. But that brings star power then. That brings the star power to Cleveland.
So you will go Travis Howard with the second pick, and then you come back, hopefully, with that 33rd with Milrose.
With Milrose, yeah. Or Here's another loop. I would take Kirk Cousins and use that number 2 on Ashton Genty because we don't know what we got with Nick Chubb, and if we can get the running game going with a Kirk Cousins veteran, and then we can still do pretty well with a 33rd receiver.
Mm-hmm. You gonna have the Chicago Bears want to fight you, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying.
They think Genty is all theirs, bro. They gonna want to. Hey, you gonna have South Side of Chicago looking for you, coach.
I don't know about that now.
But I would take that. I would take a veteran quarterback like Kirk Cousins to get things going. Then you could go ahead because if Milrose doesn't go in the 33rd, he'll be there in the later rounds. So therefore, what's up?
I seen Milrose going 4th in late 3rd, but with that 33rd, if we go like a Travis Hunter, I'm coming back with a Jackson Dart.
You think Jackson Dart is better?
I think Jackson Dart is better.
Okay.
I've put it this way. I'm not gonna lie. Did I watch any Ole Miss tape during college football? Hell no. But with him coming around and I'm hearing his name more, I did, start Googling, start looking up some stuff. I don't want to say this and people like quote me, but right now I'm gonna just say he's a poor man's Josh Allen.
Okay.
Is he that tall?
I think he was 6'3", maybe 6'2", 6'3".
Okay.
But to me, he could move in the pocket. He could run. He got the bigger frame. He got an arm. I think he was an Ole Miss team was just not as good, but he look at his numbers. He balled out this season. I think he only threw 6 picks, 31 touchdowns. I'm thinking.
And I'm gonna tell you to look at Kyle McCord's numbers. I'm trying to tell you that Kyle McCord is gonna be a problem in the NFL.
Yeah, you talking about the same Kyle McCord that threw 5 or 6 interceptions in one game?
I'm talking the same Kyle McCord who just broke all of Deshaun Watson's records in the ACC. That's who I'm talking about.
Hey, yeah, don't sleep on Kyle McCord, man. Like,
tell him, Avery.
I'm trying to tell y'all that boy Kyle McCord really
you think
nice.
Kyle is nice?
No, he definitely is nice.
Okay.
Hey. He a dog.
I'm telling you, man, Kyle McCord, y'all better quit sleeping on him. I'm gonna see if I can get him on here.
Remember, we still got that bet, Coach. We got that bet between him and Will Howard, who goes pick higher.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's gonna be Kyle McCord before Will Howard.
Y'all crazy.
Will Howard is gonna be a Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh my Lord. I hope he do so he can get his neck broke by Myles Garrett.
Man.
So all right, so we know Kirk Cousins was in town, and we did just start mentioning Kirk Cousins. So how y'all think that's gonna play out?
Man, he just came and got some Chipotle, Coach. He was nothing. All the Browns organization, they was well, I think they was with Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
there was a Happy Valley, and you can't. Well, on paper, you can't talk to another team's player without permission, and they ain't asked for no permission. So I think he just came into town just to stir the pot, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he from Ohio or no?
That I don't know.
Oh no, he's from Michigan. He's from
Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
He a Michigan State.
That I couldn't remember.
State,
I know he played at Michigan State. I just didn't, for some reason, I thought he may have been born in Ohio, but I know, he at Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Connor Cook.
Yeah, Connor Cook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was a Michigan State QB too.
Yeah. But so y'all think like if we do draft a young QB, do you think the Browns got? Because obviously, if you draft a young QB, it takes at least from all the coaches and everybody I've talked to, what I've seen from my own experience, it takes at least a couple of years of experience, like to really get a good, solid quarterback, franchise quarterback. Even like I remember Tom Brady came out. He said he hates the league right now for young quarterbacks because they put so much pressure on them when in reality, there's no way in hell a quarterback can really just come to the league in his rookie year and expect to know everything. Like the football is
even Peyton Manning struggled. Even Peyton Manning struggled as a rookie.
Yeah, and I mean you gotta just study the game. But the thing is, with like, if we do bring in young quarterback, do you think we have all the pieces around that quarterback to make us maybe a potential playoff team or spark something off in the postseason?
They got to tighten that lineup. They got to tighten that lineup. They got to be able to protect him, because the one thing that you don't want him to do is to deal with what Caleb Williams just dealt with and what Cam Newton dealt with. Like when they first came into the league, like they were getting pounded. And it was because they just weren't, they threw so much in the pot for the quarterback that they forgot to build around the quarterback to protect him. So that's I think that's it. Me personally, if I'm drafting a quarterback in the first round, I'm free agent like crazy my offensive line. I want veterans around him that's going to protect him, that's going to be able to do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
I agree with Coach on that one. And I look at the other pieces. So since he looked at the offensive line, what else is a quarterback's best friend other than the offensive line? A tight end. You got a joke. You know what I'm saying? I would love to add another tight end in the draft, like that young kid out of Bowling Green, Finn. I like him. I would love to add him. But you always got to have, like our coach said, offensive line, of course. Next, your best friend is a tight end, and another best friend of a young wide receiver is a slot guy, a possession receiver that can move those sticks.
Yeah,
I think we had it. Well, we had it in the very beginning of the season with David Bell until he got injured. We got it with Njoku. I like Cedric Tillman. Of course, you got Jerry Jeudy. I love Jerry Jeudy exceeded all my expectations of him. I thought he was a bust. He showed out, balled out. Elijah Moore is still a free agent. I like the young guy, even though he hasn't had a lot of chance. Michael Woods.
I like Mike Woods. I like him.
I still think they need to add another receiver in the draft or two. But I think offensively, we gotta go back to that wide nine to protect our run. I mean, not the wide nine, but that zone run game. You know what I'm saying? The zone read. What is it? Rezone, zone read offense, whatever you want to call it. But I want to go back to it to where Chubb was out there. You going out to the zone, you find that gap in the zone, you go. You got to get that offense. Now, you got to have that running game to protect it. Because that's one of the things. If you look at DC. Yeah, they had Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he could sling it around, but they also had two good running backs where you could toss it, give them a screen pass, they go. You had Eckler. You had, what was the other running back that they had that was nice?
Robinson.
You had a 1-2 punch. You need all those pieces around. I think we need to keep Chubb. I also think we need to add at least one or two more running backs out there, especially one in the draft, and try to pick up one in the free agency. But I think this is a big year for Ford. I don't know if he's gonna make it around, but you got to have those little pieces, and I think we got two of them already in the tight end, and we got a slot receiver if everything works out with David Bell and him coming back healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so because we running on time, so next topic is the Final Four. Coach, did you get a chance to watch any of these games?
Hey, like I said last week, Coach, I'm gonna let y'all handle that. College basketball is not my thing no more. I'm done with these one and dones. It is crazy. It's hard to keep up with. I'm back in the day when I used to watch North Carolina and Duke, and I knew that every one of the players was gonna come back the next year. I don't know none of these players. All I can say, what's dude named Michi Johnson in the transfer portal for the third time? It's too much, Coach. I'm gonna let y'all listen. If you ask me about women's college basketball Final Four, I can talk all about that because them girls play in one school basically. I can't keep with all that, man.
Hey, they balling on both ends. But let me tell you, my guys I picked Auburn, Florida, Houston, and then I had Arizona.
No Duke.
And the only reason why I took Arizona is because I picked somebody. I listened to somebody else make the decision for me against Duke.
No.
And I didn't want to, and I would have had all four. And I got Florida winning the whole thing.
Wow.
So I was cooking this year. I should have put some money on it because I was cooking this year.
Yeah, you caught me off guard when you ain't say Duke, man. I feel like they.
Duke.
I mean,
that was not my choice. That was not my choice at all.
Abe just said the name right there, Cooper Flag. That's it.
That's all.
Well, I forgot what day was it. I don't know how I ended up catching a little bit of the game, but I guess when they was playing Alabama.
Yeah.
And I seen that, like, now, mind you, I know Duke is a freshman-laden team. They got a lot of young bucks out there. A lot
of young stars.
And they always got one tall African kid. I forgot his name, but he was out there. But they, like, I'm never going – I can't understand how you left him out the Final Four, Coach.
It wasn't my choice, Coach. It wasn't my choice, man. I listened to somebody and they like convinced me on it. I said, all right, my boy Tim just said that Duke gonna win it all. So I'm like,
is that who you going with? We're gonna win it all, Duke.
I got Florida winning it all.
Oh yeah, you said that, yeah.
I got Florida. Yeah. I like Houston because nobody's talking about Houston, and the way Houston just beat the mess out of Tennessee, I was like, they made that look a little too easy.
Yep.
But I think it's Duke and Houston, right? And then Florida and Auburn, if I'm not mistaken, if that's how that's set up. So that Duke Houston game, if that's the matchup, that's gonna be tough.
Now, real quick, like I heard about Cooper Flag and I heard about him, what he was doing, during the because he worked out with the NBA players or whatever for Team USA or whatever. I did not know that boys' high school basketball team was damn near a
college team.
A college team.
Man, Mom heard like that every year.
Man, listen, I know they like that every year. I know that they're like that every year, but I didn't know that they were like that.
I saw it popped up on my TikTok page, and it named every player, and I was like, "Wait a minute, No, man, it wasn't even. It was like the first 8 players, like all 8 was like top stars. I was like, this is crazy.
That boy can flag the hoop, though. I can say that.
Oh yeah, he a baller, and he got attitude. I like that. That. Yeah. Did you have who did you pick, Avery?
I'm looking at mine right now. I picked Auburn
to win it all.
Yeah, I wanted Michigan State to get pretty far, but I figured they was gonna lose in the Elite 8 to Auburn, to be honest with you. And then for me, the way I look at it, it's just either Auburn or Duke. But like you said, Houston also had an amazing game last game. What was the score? 69-50, like against a very, very good Tennessee. So
yes. Tennessee knocked off Kentucky like it wasn't nothing. And Kentucky had already won a couple of games against them. So when they got into that, I was like, okay, this is about to be it. And then Tennessee was just like, hold my beer. And they came out and dogged Kentucky. So
my final two, I'm looking at my bracket now and I have Auburn, but I wish I changed it to Duke, to be honest with you. I think Duke gonna win it all.
I didn't think Duke was gonna run like that. I knew they was tough, but they got tougher in the tournament.
They got some kid that's shooting crazy on their team. I think his name is Tyrese Proctor. That dude has been shooting lights out too. And
yes, he has. From the arc, he's been knocking them down.
Yeah, he's got a solid team over there.
All right, so we're gonna have to move on to our next topic, and we're about to get out of this sports stuff. But Coach, this one's for you. This one is for you, Coach.
I already know what it is.
This Kanye West is a KKK clown. Now I know you saw the DJ Academics interview where this dude showed up in a black Klansman uniform. Or outfit or whatever you want to call it. I listen, man. One, people already know I'm not really a big fan of Kanye West. When I was doing music, I actually did a diss song against Kanye West, and he had it stopped per my record label. I'm not lying to you. The distribution company that I was with, he had it stopped. So they was not, because I went in on him. And it was crazy. You might even be able to find it on YouTube anywhere. And it's called The People vs. Kanye West. That's what it's called. You might be able to find it on YouTube still. But
what year you made that?
that was probably 2017, 18 area.
Okay, so that's right when he started all his crazy nonsense.
Because it was right after his mom passed away. He started just losing it. But this stuff that he's doing now, man, walking out with the big swastika on his chest, the KKK uniform. First off, like you screaming for attention. You screaming for attention. You mad because Kendrick is doing what he needs to do. You not getting what Kendrick got. You're not getting labeled like Kendrick got labeled as the greatest, and you mad about it. And now you out here just doing any and everything you can to get attention. And that's whack to me. First off, you put on a uniform or outfit that has been very detrimental to the black culture and the black community for years. What are you hoping to prove by this? What are you looking to prove for this or from this?
He ain't trying to prove nothing, Coach. What he doing is what we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't even be talking about him. He wants this platform. He's a very boring person outside of his music. You know what I'm saying? So he has to be a provocateur to get this attention. He's attention whore. I mean, what other reason would you have your so-called wife show up to a red carpet damn near butt ass naked?
Yeah,
though. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just an attention whore. And the thing is, like, I had a frat brother in college, and he said, man, ain't no such thing as bad publicity, man, because you think it's bad publicity, it's gonna be 5-10 motherfuckers want to find out if it's real or not. So ain't no such thing.
That is true.
In his mind, that's how he's living. But it's like, dude, I stand by what I miss the old Kanye. I miss college dropout Kanye. This new Kanye, I don't know him, don't want to know him.
Right.
Like, go take your meds. Like, I don't know if it was, I can't, before people was blaming, the Kardashian curse and all this. Like, dude, I don't know what it is, man, but you need to go take your meds. Go talk to a young priest, old priest, and a new priest, and talk to them about because you have mommy issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go deal with all that stuff, and you're crying out for attention, but you're doing it all the wrong way, bro. Like, I'm not for this Nazi shit. I'm not for this KKK shit. I do, like, you lost me with all that, man. Like, that's all I gotta say about Kanye. That dude.
Kanye crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, but he's screaming for attention, and honestly, we just need to stop giving it to him, because that way, it'll eliminate all of that shit, and maybe it make him humble himself. Because go ahead.
Is he still doing Yeezy, like the fashion deal?
Oh, that got shut down.
Yeah,
that got shut down by Adidas.
Yeah, only way. I'm sorry. He's still making music though, right?
Barely. He trying to do stuff to be relevant, like when the Kendrick and Drake thing was going on. He tried to jump on that and tried to force Drake to come at him, and then nobody bite on it. So it's like he's screaming for attention right now, and it's beyond crazy.
You talk about music, I think he did a song with his daughter, and it was Puffy. Well, not Puffy, whatever his name you want to call him. Sean Combs was on there. It was a whole, but he's doing like a lot of weird stuff. Like, I know we go back real quick to the academics interview. When he opens the door, he had on a black Sean John shirt with a swastika on the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude is, I'm telling you, this is just clickbait. Just clickbait.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at it like it might be I think he calling for somebody to hurt him. I mean, when you sit back and you really think about it, like the stuff he doing, like my cousin just said he lost. Like, dude is lost. And it's like, why else would you be trying to do that? Because like right now, if he goes to Germany, they're gonna get him. Because that they're not on that. So if he goes to Germany, it will be over with for him. But it's like, I think he's asking for somebody to hurt him, because like hurt people hurt people. So
he only pulls that stuff in this country. He's not gonna go over there and do that. the part is he's a smart psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A smart schizophrenic. He's smart. Like, he's tactical in the bullshit. He knows what to do and what not to do. He's the type of asshole that goes right to that line and looks over like, yeah, I ain't gonna do it, but I'm right on that motherfucking line, though. I'm right there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do everything to piss y'all off while I'm on this line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go enough to where you get to like, okay, like stuff they even said about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids. Dude, you violated. You don't say that about nobody else's kids. Exactly. But he went to that line knowing, yeah, Jay-Z and them ain't gonna do nothing, because if they do it, you know, I'm suing them, yada yada yada. He's the antagonist that's gonna go there and push the button. But that's just how he is.
Yeah,
I feel it. All right, so then let's go ahead and move into our next topic. We're gonna get into a little bit of politics. Avery, I don't know how you are in the politic game and stuff, but me and Coach be getting into it. But right now in politics, there's this big thing. We got a lot of people attacking Jasmine Crockett because she called Greg Abbott Hot Wheels because he's in a wheelchair now. But people put so much emphasis on what Jasmine Crockett said because they're trying to ignore the biggest security breach in our country's history. So to me, this one is here. I'm like, y'all need to stop fishing and stop trying to find anything you can to stop the educated Black woman from speaking. So they're trying to look for everything and anything. And it's like, so y'all gonna talk about Jasmine Crockett making a comment about Greg Abbott being Hot Wheels. However, Donald Trump literally came on television at one of his things and made fun of somebody of special needs and mocked them on top of it. So it's like they're doing that to distract everything, to ignore the fact that we just had the biggest security breach in our country's history.
It's the shiny object, man. That's what they're going to. But my whole thing is this, and I'm gonna say this to Jasmine: you shouldn't have came out and try to, you know, I don't know if you don't want to fix your statement or whatever. You said what you said. Stand on it. It is right. What it is. And my thing is with the world, and this is just for the world in general. You gotta laugh at some shit, man. Comedy is not dead. You can't put comedy in this cancel box. There's gonna be some shit said that y'all you just gonna be like, it's, you know, cringeworthy. Like, come on now, like, think about it, Coach. This might be. I'm gonna date myself, Avery. This is before your time, but A Living Color. Yes. A Living Color wouldn't have made it in today's world.
Oh no,
neither would Dave Chappelle. Because like, I even watched like the Chappelle show. Like, you know, when he did, like, we talk about Kanye a minute ago, that he had the Black Klansman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, come on now. Like, my thing, like I said, Jasmine, don't apologize. Stand on it. Security breach. I'm gonna just say this because it's always this whataboutism, but we already know it is this whataboutism. It's the truth. If this had happened under, let's just say, if Kamala was president, if it would have happened under Hillary, if it had under Biden, if it would have went under Obama, we know it would have been somebody would have been fired by now. Somebody would have lost their job. Accountability would have been taken. Everything. But all I'm hearing is Trump don't want to fire this dude Tim Walz or whatever his name is for adding a dude because he don't want
Mike Walz.
Yeah, Mike Walz. He don't want the media to have one victory up on him, but you rather you know put other people's lives in danger. Right. Like, come on, man. But I'm just, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm not paying attention to that shiny object, Jasmine Crockett, man. It's we got bigger fish to fry. Governor Hot Wheels, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Like, was it a tasteful joke? Yeah, she could have got somebody to write a better one, but at the end of the day, stand on it. It is what it is, man. I'm not paying attention to nothing that they try to put out there for us to pay attention to, but other than what's really going on.
What I have a problem with is just the blatant lies about it. The dude, Pete Hegseth, was like, it was no plans or anything posted it, and then the Atlantic said, okay, we're going to show you then, and then put it all out there, and now they're just ignoring the fact that it happened. Well, what we need to talk about is how successful the mission was. No. You don't get to just bypass that security breach that you just did. You don't get to just bypass that. You did something that you weren't supposed to do. You did a lot of things you weren't supposed to do. And then you got exposed for it. So now instead of taking accountability and saying, we're sorry, we made a mistake, we shouldn't have never happened, they just keep lying and keep lying and keep lying and keep trying to dismiss everything like it was nothing. That's what I have a major problem with when it comes to that situation. So,
that's how to me, that's what he did before. So this ain't nothing new.
Exactly.
However many lies he told when he was in office the first time, I'm pretty sure he's damn near close it. All I can say is we got to stop trying to move this goalpost for them and help them move it. It is what it is. Y'all fucked up.
Yeah.
Somebody unfortunately got to get fired because that's just how it is. Because I don't know about you, Coach. If I fuck up that big at my job, I'm getting fired.
It's over. It's over with.
So, you know, that's just what it is. And the crazy part to me is I'm learning, like today when I was right before we started the podcast, I'm in the kitchen cooking up some food, and I had YouTube playing. And they were saying basically, this ain't the first chat.
No,
it isn't. Other chats. And I'm sitting there like, dude, you've only been in office since January 20th. You're just out here just doing all sorts of illegal shit.
Yes. Yes. You know? All right. So we rounding up to our last part of the podcast, which is a lot of people's favorite. It's called Get It Off Your Chest. So, Avery, since you are a guest, we're going to let you go first. Is there something you want to get off your chest?
Anything.
It could be about anything.
No, for real. I mean, I just got out. Now we just got off the politics topic. Only thing is like I just hope like person that Donald Trump don't ruin this country in the next 4 years. Just make sure that we can still come back from whatever stupid stuff he's done or he's gonna do. But yeah, I don't know. I just think as a community, we just all need to stick together. Yes. And really just like sooner or later, these times, just like 2020, they're going to pass and we're going to have to rebuild off of that. And hopefully we won't be the laughing stock of the whole world right now in a few years. So that's probably what I'll say right about now.
Okay. Yeah. Coach?
I'm since we did apologies, I'm gonna take this a little bit to the other field. I'm gonna go to church real quick.
Oh, you Marvin Sapp.
No, I ain't closing no doors. I ain't closing no doors, Coach. I got
no bamboo. No.
Yeah. I got a high school friend that I grew up with from basically third grade, man. He's a preacher. He moved out to Cali. Now he moved back, and I ran into him the other day when he came to my family's restaurant. And I asked him, I had a question. I said, according to the Bible and everybody, they said, free will. God gave us free will to do whatever we want, make decisions what we want or whatever. So I asked him, I said, do you feel like we have abused that free will? And he said, yeah, we've been abusing it. And I said, okay, that's cool because that's the same page I'm on. So at what point do we stop abusing the free will? At what point do we understand that we have been abusing the free will? Does it take mass casualties? Does it take, what will it take for us to realize that if you read the Bible, believe in the Bible, we got this free will because of, Jesus Christ passing away. God gave us free will. When are we going to stop abusing it?
Right.
When we going to stop? When we going to start treating each other like we're not, like skin color aside, put that shit out the window. When we going to start realizing that we all bleed the same blood? When we all going to realize that we all came from, whether you black, white, whatever, we all came from one continent. If you believe in genealogy, we came from one people. When are we going to realize that and start working with each other? I go back to the same thing I always said. I bet you right now, if some aliens come from outer space and attack, I bet you we become the human race. I bet you we'll be all on the same side. So why we just can't act like that now? Like, why we just all can't be together and be friends? I mean, I ain't asking for, the next man across the street to be my best friend, but I'm asking for that man to look out for me as am I going to look out for him and his family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, it's like, we got to stop abusing this free will, man. and we got to, because at some point in time, I hate to say it, but I don't want to lose it. And I ain't talking about God coming back and taking away, but government taking away our free will, our rights, and stuff like that. So we gotta realize that we gotta stop abusing that, man. But that's it.
Right. Okay. So first, before I move on, I see Coach Hallett, Mike Hallett, is on. I don't know if he's still with Toledo, Avery, but if you not hip to Coach Mike Hallett, he recruited my son at Heidelberg, and now he's watching us right now. And I believe he's an offensive line coach at Toledo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's still that's my dog.
Yeah, so Coach Hallett, Avery Dunn, you see, we connected people.
Yeah.
But all right, so to get it off your chest, the only thing I'm really gonna touch on is this. I'm hoping that, I saw that Pennsylvania just flipped a seat that was in the favor of the Democrats, and I'm hoping that the 3, I believe it's in Florida. There's 3 seats in Florida that need to be flipped by tomorrow morning. So I'm hoping that those things take place, so therefore we can move this country in the right direction, man, because we got to get some control back in one of these areas, the Senate or the House or the Supreme Court, somewhere. We got to get some control somewhere, because the things that have been taking place in this country has just been flat out unruly. I saw somebody say that the Democrats are trying to play rule book free politics, and they need to stop doing it, because the Republicans have thrown the rule book out the window. And so I'm hoping that people continue to start voting smartly in these next elections that's coming up by 2026, so we can just get the country moving in the right direction, because this has been mass chaos, and it's only been basically 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think it's been that long, because he came in January 20th, right?
Yep.
So it ain't even been a full 3 months, and it's just been nothing but chaos. And so, I'm hoping that people continue to keep seeing what's going on and getting a chance to make changes to the votes that they voted for, because I know a lot of MAGA people even flipped it in Pennsylvania, and that was one of the cities that he won heavily. So I like that just took place. Yeah. All right, that's it for me. But I want to thank my man Avery for joining us. Yes,
of course.
I want to thank you for joining us. We got nothing but love for you, and we wish you nothing but the best in this upcoming season at Toledo.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Browns draft him next year.
Yeah, Hey, do y'all play Central Michigan?
No, we don't. I was just talking to Coda about that. We actually don't. They played them last year, but this year we not playing them. I was so sick about that.
I'm gonna try to figure out who I can come see you play against, because I'm gonna get to a game. So, because my little cousin actually just stopped playing.
You might see me when BG roll up there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna roll over my Falcons up there.
Hey, Coach, I'll go. Hey, if you go up to that one, I'll go with you. If you go to that one, I'll go with you.
Let's make it happen.
Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna come check out that one.
All right, for sure. Y'all don't see nothing but an ass whooping against BG, man.
Hey, it's gonna suck, because I'm a root for Abe, and I'm crying home about my Falcons losing.
Hey, that's what's up. All right, Avery, I want to thank you for joining us, man. And as always, you know what I'm saying, we wish you nothing but the best, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all having me on here, man. I love y'all, and I learned a lot just being on here too. And if you ever want me to come on here again, I'll love to.
Oh, most definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, but I keep in contact with you guys and let you know how my journey going. And I just wish you the best. I'm praying for you and sending many blessings your way.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, y'all. And once again, Let's Get to the Facts podcast is sponsored by OPM Clothing Line, the original Bonuts, and No More Struggling Entertainment. All right, y'all. We out.
All right.
That was dope.